Guess what?
Chicken butt.
We are live. This is the radio takeover with D Rivers. This is the live version with Lynn Webster's top 10 in music today. What's up, Lynn?
You know what? You are D.
Oh, I,
Absolutely.
I got it like that. I'm glad to hear that.
I'm glad you can't. I'm glad I can't fucking count to 10. Because let me
Uh-oh.
tell you, I cannot narrow. I cannot. Okay, so you said albums.
Yes.
That was. Okay, so I did that. But there's so much stuff I want to talk about musically that's not necessarily an album.
Go for it.
Well, so things like so I actually narrowed this down to probably 20 albums. Um,
Okay.
okay, so first I would like to thank treatmentreliefhelp.org for the things they do for me, and I also would like to say for the suicide hotline number is 1-800-273-8255 273 talk. So, and my I don't know what you call it, a website is reverb.com/LynnWebb. Something like that. Fuck, I don't know what it is.
Right. Right.
You know what it is.
Watch this.
Okay.
Just like the watch this.
Oh, okay. So okay, I did get it right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, so hey, my legs don't work, but my brain and my dick still do. I mean, my brain and my hands.
You know what? Let me go ahead and just say this right now before we even get started. I have to do the disclaimer. This is a rock and roll show. I do not
Oh, that's
censor.
right.
That's right. I do not censor my guest. So I'm going to say viewer discretion, especially with today's show. Viewer discretion is advised. So if you are averse to adult language, today's episode might not be the episode for you. So, but I would love to have you to stay on and watch. But this is an adult show, and we're adults. We're two consenting adults.
And tomorrow we'll sing nursery rhymes
That's right.
for everybody else. So
Go for it, Lynn.
that's not gonna happen. You go first.
Oh, okay.
Hickory dickory dock.
Oh.
Oh, you don't know this one?
I should. No, I don't.
Okay, never mind. It's a Dice Clay thing.
Oh, God. Oh, yes, I do. Okay. I do. I do now.
Okay.
I do.
So everybody else does too. So what's the point in even?
Do you mind
So
if I
you know what?
should?
We already. This train done fucking derailed already.
Oh, it's not even a minute in yet. Oh, I mean, it's 3 minutes in. Yeah,
That's a record.
it is a record.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. I've been watching the shows and they've been great. I like the, like Clint. I like the way he talked about baseball and so it wasn't just music.
Right.
Because a lot of times we just get together and all we talk about is music and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So and I know he's a big baseball fan, but I didn't realize that it was that big to him. And I'm a huge NASCAR fan.
I didn't know that.
Yep. I like NASCAR. What's that?
Who's your favorite?
So, wow, I'd have to say Chase Elliott right now.
Okay.
And as soon as they start racing again
Mm-hmm.
next year,
Right.
or in the next 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
or if they ever start racing,
Right.
man, I am okay. I'm not going to get political.
Nope.
No, it ain't going to happen.
Nope.
Okay, so you should probably drive this ship because I'm going to crash this motherfucker right on the rocks.
You know what? Before you get started, though, do you remember the Capri Cinema?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Let me tell you a quick little story about
Yeah?
that. Yeah. When I was younger, I was, had a little fire and spit in my blood back then, right?
Yeah, yeah, like that ever went away. We know stuff about each other that will never be aired.
Oh, very true. Very true.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm fucking talking all over you.
That's okay. When I was a young lass, I wanted to go see Fritz the Cat.
I have no idea what that is.
It is Fritz the Cat is it was innovative for its time. It was a cartoon. And I'll say what the cartoon was about at the end. But me and a friend, we went there. We bribed the ticket taker to getting in because we didn't have any money. We went and bought him a 6-pack of beer. That's all we had the money for. So we went in, bought the popcorn, started walking into the theater. There were maybe like 10 people there. They had ripped up the carpet because, for whatever reason. So I
Okay,
had
so this is before or after it was a place that Pee Wee Herman would frequent?
This was before it was a music venue.
Before the music venue. Okay.
Yes, it was before. So at the time I was wearing Mary Jane shoes, the baby doll shoes, with the strap across the foot, black shoes, and they had a rubber sole. So when I walked in, I would walk in, and I would hear with every step I made, it was like squawk, 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 squawk. Now I don't know whether that was the adhesive from the carpet, or whether it was something else.
What else would it have been?
I wonder.
I don't know. Why did they just scoop it off the floor?
I don't know. But when I walked in, Linda Lovelace's movie was playing.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm, because they had that on it was a double header that day.
Fritz the Cat and Deep Throat. Are you serious?
I'm no joke. Okay. Now, what was it about your top 10? I'm sorry. That was I interrupted. Go ahead.
Oh, my top 10?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, you had something going on. I'm sorry. But I had to tell that story since we're in adult land.
We're in adult land.
Yeah.
Oh, did you want to hear about my porno story?
Yeah, please tell it. Yeah.
Do we even want to air that? Do I even want to air that?
I don't know if it
I don't really give a shit.
You know what? Go for it.
Okay, so I made some porno movies.
Did you?
Yeah. So you know how that works is you go, well, send me a link or whatever. And I was like, well, some shady guy just gives you like $500 to do your thing. And you never know what the name of the movie is or even the name of the girl or, man, you got to do what you got to do in the music business.
Oh, I know. But now you're going to have me out here doing what they call it, a Google search on you. I'm sure you didn't.
I've already tried it.
Oh, you did?
No, this was long before the internet.
Oh,
so this stuff probably never even made it to the internet.
You never know. There's some collector out there that's hungry.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some guy collecting my porno movies. I was thinking about making a fetish website.
Oh gosh, no.
For like old guys in diapers. All I need's a pacifier.
Oh no, please, no, no. You know what? You better get to your top 10 before I see something on my Facebook that goes, you know what, Miss Hemingway, you're done.
You're done, Miss Hemingway, you're fired. Okay, so let's talk about music.
Let's talk about music now. Yes.
Okay, so you said that you wanted me to make a top 10 list of my favorite records.
Yes.
And so let me tell you, I spent a lot of time on this,
Okay.
and I did get to 10 75 times. But so I have a list of maybe so I have a list of I think the shit now there's probably 12, 15 on here.
Right.
But I've listened, but you did get me listening to some really cool stuff.
Okay.
Going, wow, was that? Um, so okay, so as far as albums go, and these are in no particular order because then you can't go, oh, what's your favorite song off that album? Because then that's a whole totally different mind fuck to me.
Right.
Because it's hard to say, and a lot of these albums are favorites for a couple of different reasons.
Okay.
One being the songs,
Okay.
and one being the producers
Right.
or the production. And another would be that they were groundbreaking.
Okay.
So let's just start at the top of the list in no particular order. No Parole for Rock and Roll by, do you know who it's from? Alcatraz. So Alcatraz was Yngwie Malmsteen's first album.
Okay.
So he came to America to play for a band called Steeler, which was on Shrapnel Records, and he was stolen by Graham Bonnet, who used to be in Rainbow. Yeah, Rainbow, or maybe even Deep Purple.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Right.
So this album, groundbreaking, very groundbreaking. Yngwie Malmsteen came over and really changed the face of guitar playing. Now, not as much as Edward. So this is now Yngwie was probably 18 years old, and just incredible as he is today. But a lot of his albums are kind of boring. Once if you've heard one Yngwie album, you've heard them all, kind of thing. Now people are going, I cannot believe he said that. But it is what it is. Great album. Their second album was good too. So a lot of these albums that I'm mentioning.
Right.
So it was easy to pick a bunch of like 10 bands. But then going through and going, oh, well, this album was great. This one stands out. This one stands out. This one stands out.
Right.
So I picked that one because it's groundbreaking. If you haven't heard it, listen to it. The songs are good. The production could have been better.
Okay.
It's like it was like done on a budget because it was probably they probably did a bunch of demos and shopped them around, and people were like, "We can't sell this. Where the hell am I looking?"
Right.
Anyway, so I don't know if they could have. I'm not sure they really could have sold this huge because it was so different.
Okay. Is that number 10 or are you going 10 up?
Oh my God, no! I can't even put them in order.
Okay. Gotcha.
This is a tall order for me because I like a lot of different stuff.
Right.
Okay, so for example, the next one would be Jeff Beck Wired.
What was it?
Jeff Beck
Yeah.
Wired. Or Blow by Blow, which were sister albums
Okay.
in a way. Another reason, groundbreaking guitar playing.
Right.
Excuse me.
That's all right.
so Beck plays. He doesn't just play like normally with a pick and strum chords and things like that. He keeps like he'll play with his thumb and his index finger, and he'll have his pinky on the volume control.
Right.
He'll have the tremolo arm in between his other fingers. So he's doing all this crazy stuff at one time.
Right.
Just amazing. Ding. Yeah. So, and this is 75, 76.
Okay.
So I was into a lot of like fusion stuff in the late 70s, early 80s, stuff like Stanley Clarke, Jaco Pastorius,
Right.
stuff like that. And those are like some of the first things I put on the list. And as I started making the list, I was like, well, damn, that's tough to really, it's tough to narrow down stuff like that. But I have to say that those guys too, all those fusion players, really influenced a lot of the rock players.
Okay.
Like Steve Vai. Okay, so another album on here is Eat 'Em and Smile, which was David Lee Roth's first full-length album.
I remember that one very well. I love the album cover on that one. Beautiful album cover.
Yeah. You know, did you see my promo for this on my page?
I did.
So it said something about frisbees, and then I tried to explain what the fuck a frisbee was, and
Right.
and I said whatever, never mind, because it had artwork. But the artwork was a huge part of it, man. When you bought an album, man,
Right.
you had not only did you have a physical piece of music history in your hand, you had all the music on it as well. And I really miss that. And plus, I think digital stuff is really too sterile.
It's very sterile.
And I think they ruined a lot of these albums when they remastered them. Sharon Osbourne. So another couple things on this list. I tried to get the two Ozzy solo albums on that had Randy Rhoads on them. But as I added stuff, I mean those are obvious influences of mine.
The two solo Ozzy albums you said? The first two?
Yeah. So, and let me tell you what Sharon Osbourne did. So she took Bob Daisley and Tommy Aldridge off of these albums.
Right.
And replaced them with other players so she didn't have to pay royalties. Yeah.
Sneaky.
Yeah. What a bitch. Man. So that's the music business for you.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So she owns pretty much like every time an Ozzy song is played,
Right.
boom, she gets the money. Because I'm sure that his dumbass went, okay, I'll sign that. But those are obvious favorites of mine.
Okay.
Anybody that knows me would realize that. Now, so Back in Black.
Enough said.
Amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do you say about that album? The front, I mean, from the first second to the last second, incredible.
And that was the first album without Bon Scott, right?
That was one of the, up to that point, I think it was one of the records that it took them the longest to do.
Right.
Uh, so I believe they were going to throw in the towel.
Right.
So I'm not sure who owned them at that point. That was Mutt Lange too that produced that.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that ruined music
With Shania.
with Def Leppard.
Oh, with Def Leppard. Oh.
Yeah, you know, Mutt produced Hysteria and Paranoia,
Right.
Pyromania,
Right.
and I hate them. I hate those records.
Oh, and I'm a Shania fan. So
I'm a Shania fan too, but he was hated in Nashville
yeah.
because when he went there, he changed the whole scope of music
Right.
as far as the country scene goes.
Yeah.
But as far as the rock scene goes, he went from Back in Black to Pyromania, which it was just overproduced. Like Back in Black is simple, straightforward, and then Pyromania just has so much keys and 50 different guitar parts and vocal parts and such as that. So the next one on the list, British Steel by Judas Priest.
Oh.
So, and this one is for songs. I think every song on there was amazing. And this is a record that I got when I really first started playing guitar, and probably the first album that I learned front to back. And it was I think it's one of the most definitive metal records out there. British metal. Now, so there's so many subgenres of metal now that I don't even know what the hell they are.
It's a lot.
Yeah, so and what is called metal sometimes I want to go, that's not metal. Like Def Leppard's not metal. They go hair metal. No, that's not hair metal. But I'm a huge Def Leppard fan. I really didn't like the production on a lot of the albums,
Right.
but the first three albums were amazing. So now we're going. Okay, no, we're on Bridge Still. So there's nothing I can say about British Steel except for the songwriting was incredible. How do you write a whole album like that? It's like Back in Black. A whole album, every song could have been a hit.
British Steel.
British Steel. So it came out in about 1980. I don't have any notes on it whatsoever. Okay, this one's gonna throw you for a loop.
Okay, I'm ready. Let me adjust. Hold up. All right, go for it.
Let me get it. Okay. Hotel California. Yeah, see there? Yeah. Again, so for this one gets points for production and songwriting. This is one of the albums. Well, so all these albums are albums that are wore the grooves off of.
Hotel California.
Hotel California. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You can check out, but you can never leave. That's a true lyric.
That's right.
It's
Oh yeah,
yes.
The songwriting on it is incredible. Those guys and the vocals and the musicianship. I'm still blown away when I listen to it.
Oh, they have incredible harmony.
Yeah. Yeah, and every one of them can sing.
Yes, they can.
Yeah, it's there's no, I don't know what to say about it. I mean, if you haven't heard it, go get it. I mean, when I say go get it, type it in because
Yes.
we used to have to go buy records.
Yes.
We used to have to go. I used to walk like a mile up the road to the nearest record store.
What were the record stores you went to? See if we went to the
So
same ones.
the Home Folks.
Mm-hmm.
So Home Folks in Columbia Square is about a mile from where I live.
Right.
So I lived here then, and I lived, what I say, I lived here then, and I live here now.
Right.
But it's a Honda dealership now. Oh yeah, and there's no records. So oh yeah, and I can't walk. So man, I'm fucked. I guess I got to go on the internet and steal it like everybody else does.
Like everybody else does now. You know, I used to go to the Home Folks it was on Broad Street.
Oh yeah. So and there was one in South Augusta, I believe, as well.
Yep. And H.L. Greens and Cresses and
Oh wow.
Sky City Department Store.
Sky City was if I told Taylor over there that there was a department store where you could buy a gerbil and a book and groceries, she'd be like, "You mean Walmart?" I'm like, "No, this was 40 years ago, 50 years ago."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was crazy. That I used to love to go there. And there was a Bilo next door to the one on Wrightsboro Road, which is the nearest one to us, and it had 5 cows on top of it. And those cows are scattered about the CSRA.
Yes.
Uh,
Really?
Yeah. One is on Doug's Meat Shop, or the meat shop on Walton Way.
Oh.
And then, okay, so I haven't driven around in like a year, so I don't really know where they all are.
Right.
Now,
Right.
But at one time, it was kind of a game. So, oh, where are the cows? Because there were like 5 of them on top of that Bilo. And they're full-size cows.
You know, I've forgotten all about the cows. Forgotten all about the cows.
We do our train derailed. But yeah, so Sky City did have records, and Roses had records. You could buy a 45 for $1, and it had 2 songs on it. And so, and most songs, so the B-sides on a lot of like if you bought a Van Halen 45, you got 2 good songs. Like, okay, so that's on my list too. Van Halen 1. I mean, Edward changed the world, and not just his lead playing, his rhythm playing on that stuff is incredible. In fact, I find it harder to do than the lead stuff.
Right.
It's you can go on YouTube and find just the guitar parts from Van Halen 1 and 2, because he just played it. I mean, it was one track. The rhythm and the lead on most of the songs on Van Halen 1, I know, it was all one track, one take. Maybe not one take,
Right.
but one track. So another Van Halen album that's really interesting that was never released was called Zero.
Zero?
Zero. Okay, so you need to check that out. So it has bits and pieces of songs from all of their records, probably up until David left, and that's when Van Halen ceased to exist and
Right.
Van Hagar started.
Right.
Two totally different things to me. Not that I dislike Van Hagar, but of course, uh, the Van Halen stuff was uh, incredible. I mean, he still to this day, there's kids sitting in their room trying to learn those parts. And you know what's funny is, so now we have Tab. You can just go on the internet and it'll teach you how to play the song, or you can go on YouTube
Right.
and somebody can teach you how to play the song. And it just takes all the fun out of it. See, we have a record player, and you have to like stop it, pick the needle up, and back it up, and listen. I mean, it was, or just listen to it 50 times and memorize it in your head.
Or if you had a reel to reel, you had to rewind it and stop a
Yeah,
cassette. Yeah.
cassette.
Yeah.
A cassette. Oh yeah, so cassettes. If you had an 8-track, you're fucked because you can't back.
Remember the click? It'd be right in the middle of
Yeah,
the song.
right in the middle of a song, it would change tracks. Um, I hope that most of your audience is over the age of 8-track.
That's okay. It's always a learning lesson.
Yes, because they're going, what the hell is an 8-track? When actually, I used to joke and say, it's actually only 4 tracks.
Right.
But I guess they named it 8-track because, and I'm going to say, I may sound stupid when I say this,
Go for it.
uh, four tracks, 4 tracks in stereo. 8-track? I don't know.
Could be.
That's the trivia question of the day.
Yes, it is.
It is. Okay.
You know what? This audience has learned a lot today.
I bet.
Oh, an awful lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We haven't even started yet, have we?
No.
No. So, oh yeah. I'm only like halfway down one page. Next album, one of the most incredible albums ever. So this would have been like a 1 or 2 on my list.
Okay.
Is Moving Pictures by Rush. The production, the songs. I mean, there's the whole package.
I believe Clint
All the
Watts
way
would agree
through.
with you. Clint Watts would agree with you on that. He's a
Oh,
huge,
absolutely.
yeah, he's a huge Rush fan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So some of the bands that he was talking about yesterday, I used to go see those guys play, and they were incredible players at 16, 17 years old. Um, so he mentioned Project 7.
Yes, he did.
They were very now. So he should have elaborated on this because they play keys like all 3 of so Jeff and Clint played keys
Right.
and the drummer Alan Reed, amazing drummer. These guys, amazing musicians.
You know, I just met Alan Reed
Yeah,
right through Facebook.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Alan's a great guy.
Yeah.
Alan is a very good friend of mine. So he was around when I started playing.
Okay.
Yeah, Alan's a great guy. He would be an interesting interview.
It's he's in the mix.
So yeah, so there's oh my gosh, there's so many people connected to the whole Pit Moss thing.
Man.
It's so funny.
It is. It's a big old Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole kind of story, you know?
Oh yeah, see, I should have got a hat.
Yes.
So yeah, so wow, pit boss. Yeah, so pit boss, and so I kind of understated uh, pit boss when I spoke of them because I had the time of my life with those guys. Uh, we now we drank quite a bit, but uh, Jimmy was rock solid, didn't drink. Uh, of course, Clinton, Paul, and myself drank everything else. Um, but yeah, amazing musicians, and Tommy, an
Oh yeah,
amazing musician as well.
he is.
Um, I think I understated the the talent in the band when I spoke of them. Uh, I can't say a bad thing about it. I had the best time playing with those guys, driving around. And we played in some funny places. We might play in a theater one night and a gas station the next night. But Clint always finds gigs, and he still does to this
He
day.
still does. He
Yeah.
does. But you
So,
know, one of the things I love about Pit Boss, even to this day, is they care about the fans and those who go out and see them. I don't care whether you're in the band or Clay is in it, whoever. They make sure they take care of those who take care of them. It's always been that way as
oh,
long as I've known them.
absolutely. I took care of quite a few people that took care of. Uh, Never mind.
Back to the top 10 list.
What was the question?
Top 10 list, yes.
Oh, the top 10 list. We were on moving
Top
pictures.
top yes, moving
What
pictures,
can you
yes.
say about that? Don't Look Back by Boston.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Another groundbreaking album, great songwriting, great production, uh, very unique. It's sad that so they had this big confrontation with the record company because the record company wanted the album out quicker than Schultz wanted it. Wanted to put it out, so they got in this huge 7 year.
All right.
I think it was 7 years between the second and third album. So, and the third album was, I think the third album would have been a lot better if they would have put it out sooner
Okay.
because it was kind of dated by the time it came out. So we went from like I think More Than a Feeling came out in '78 and Don't Look Back in '79. And then mid to late '80s, Third Stage came out when everything was Bon Jovi. So it just kind of missed its mark time frame wise.
Yeah.
It's still a good album. And those guys are still out touring today, and they still sound amazing.
Still touring.
They're still touring.
Wow.
Yep. In fact, they were here in Augusta within the last couple of years. Yeah.
Wow.
And they have now not the original band. The original singer took his own life.
Right.
And then they actually found this guy that worked at Home Depot or Lowe's or something that could sing just like him. I swear, I'm not making this up. Okay, put that in your notes and look it up.
I will.
Uh,
Wow.
so their vocals were incredible. super harmonies. Schultz was a great songwriter, not like a super great guitar player, but
Right.
very adequate. Also, he was a very good keyboard player. So all that. So if you look at the first couple albums, all the bass, all the guitar, all the keys are him.
Oh.
And it was Brad Delk, and then I don't know the drummer's name, but it was like three people that did those first two albums,
Wow.
and Tom Schultz did most of it. So he was I don't know if he was an MIT grad at the point, but
Right.
he was attending MIT at least, and actually made his own amplifiers and that unique guitar sound. He made it in his basement. That's
Oh.
yeah. So it's and he was a perfectionist, and that's why the third album didn't get out,
Okay.
because the record company said, "Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up! Time's running out." And then they followed him in that. But anyway, so okay, "Too Fast for Love" by Motley Crue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I went through Motley Crue. I went through their discography, and that was a tough one. It's tough to pick which their best album is. But so I picked Too Fast for Love because it was their first album, and it was self-produced. They did it all on their own. It was their money. Uh, they went in the studio. You don't see a lot of albums that are produced by the band,
True.
because you know what? If you get like a band in a studio, the drummer's gonna go, "Man, I can't hear a fucking snare," and the guitar player's gonna go, "Turn up the lead," and you know what I mean? It's just gonna be a big fucking fist fight. That's why producers. Okay, so a producer is a fucking babysitter. He's like,
Agreed.
"No, sit down and shut the fuck up. This is how it's
Agreed.
gonna go." And a lot of the so back in the day when there were record companies, you signed that contract. Uh, the record company said, "This is what we're going to do to your stuff," and you have no say so whatsoever.
Agreed.
Um, which is a good idea, because we wouldn't have the music that we have today without people like Ted Templeton or Terry Brown or Mutt Lange or guys like that.
True.
Um, and he also had control, or most of these guys had control over the engineer as well, going, "Okay, this is how we're going to make this sound," or stuff like this. Uh, but then there were some albums, like I think Van Halen one was recorded like in no time, like
Yeah.
weeks.
Right.
Uh, yeah, because I mean, it was not much to it. I mean, it's raw guitar, bass, drums, and vocals. Not, I mean, they already sounded good. You didn't have to do it.
Right.
Uh, wow, I can't think of a self-produced album that I would say was really good. Now, "Too Fast for Love" was a good record. The songs were good. It was a good good timing, but it could have they could have fared well with a better producer. uh, but it was just so um, wow. It was just so different than what was going on. So everything was like so like a lot of stuff we talked about, Van Halen and Boston and Kansas and REO Speedwagon and stuff like that. And then fucking Too Fast for Love comes out,
Right.
and people are once again going, "What the fuck is that?" So there you go. And are you hearing that through the mic when I hit the table? Yeah, because I'm an idiot. Yeah, there's a mic on the table and I'm hitting it. Uh, that's why people don't let me mix their bands anymore. Um, here's another sheet of paper with, oh, what's on here? Okay, so there's a lot of the Stanley Clark stuff.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
So School Days would definitely be right up there with any favorite album I ever had. Or Jaco Pastorius, whether it be uh, Mahavishnu Orchestra or with Joni Mitchell or just his solo stuff.
Right.
So he was mentally ill as well. He was killed he was killed by a bouncer at a bar in Florida because he would go in to these rock bars, like these bars that I would play at, and he would heckle the bands and throw bottles at the bands and do shit like that. So he was killed by a bouncer.
Well, it's unfortunate.
Yes. Terrible.
Yeah.
Um, amazing musician.
So Stanley Clark, huh?
Stanley Clark. Oh my God. So, oh yeah. Stanley Clark, Al Di Meola. Wow. Weather Report.
Oh.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of stuff like that.
I did not know this.
Return to Forever.
Right.
Wow. Amazing band.
I just learned something new about you.
So I would pull in the parking lot at school, blasting out some Stanley Clark or something like that.
Right.
And people would look at me like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy? They're like, what is he listening to? And I have a friend of mine that passed away named Ron Quinn. Clint mentioned him to thank for turning me on to that.
Right.
Ron was a very good bass player in his own right. He died of a brain aneurysm in probably the early 90s.
Okay.
Wow. I have to think on that.
Weather report.
Weather Report. Yeah, you didn't even know I knew who they were, did you?
You know what? I knew you were into a lot of music, but I wouldn't have guessed it.
We went from Too Fast for Love to Weather Report.
Yeah.
We went from the Shocker to right to Stanley Clark School Days.
That's right.
Our Romantic Warrior, or something like that. So wow. So I have right at the top of this page. Now these would have been honorable mentions.
Okay.
Jeff Beck, Jaco, Stanley Clark, because I didn't know how to do this into 10 albums. This is crazy. So now I'm looking at the list of just bands,
Okay.
um, because I couldn't. There was no way I could go. These are my 10 favorite albums. In fact, I was still scratching out stuff 20 minutes before we went live because I would like wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, now, okay, so now I just thought of something. And if Clint is listening, he'll go, I know exactly what that is. And it's a band called Chalice. It's a Billy Sheehan's first band.
Oh.
I saw them open for Van Halen. How's that for a crazy connection? 6 degrees of separation. So Billy Sheehan is in a band opening for Van Halen and later becomes David Lee Roth's bass player.
Wow. Which tour did you see Van Halen on?
Which one didn't I see?
Uh-oh.
I saw everyone with Roth. Yep.
You were lucky to see the very first tour of one.
I think I saw that in Augusta. Uh, it might have been Augusta, Columbia, or Atlanta, but I think it was in Augusta. So Van Halen, actually, and here's some Augusta trivia for you. Van Halen opened a few of their tours in Augusta because bands like Van Halen
Right.
don't go to Atlanta and make sure their shit works. I saw Ozzy in El Paso, Texas, in a basketball arena. The production took up half of the room. And they did that because they wanted to test everything to make sure it worked. It was White Zombie at the time and Ozzy.
Wow.
And the production was huge. So I was sitting right behind front of the house, which was all the way, it was as far back as you could get on a basketball court. Mm-hmm. Not a big basketball fan, have no idea what the hell they play on. So, I mean, you're not looking at very far at all. And the production is so, and we're talking about, this is just White Zombie's production was so big that it takes you 20 minutes to realize there's actually a band on stage. Screens, 30-foot high video screens. The whole back of the stage was all video screens. And then he had these huge robots, 20-foot robot, crazy, you know how, okay, well, do you know about his art?
No.
Okay, so Rob Zombie is quite the artist.
Yes, I do know that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, so he had these robots based on his art on this tour. And everything dwarfed the players on stage. So it was kind of, it was overkill, definitely. And then Ozzy comes out, and Ozzy has huge production too.
Right.
But his video screens are only as big as a house.
Oh.
But it's funny, if you ever watch the Osbournes on MTV.
Right.
So there's this part in it where Ozzy's he's sharing hell about bubbles. That was at that venue.
Oh,
So that show was shot in El Paso because it was the first night of their tour, and or it could have been like the day before or something because they came in and set up their stuff the day before to because they had to test all this stuff because there was he had a bunch of crazy shit. Uh, so they wanted to make sure it worked, and 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 then back to Van Halen, same thing with Augusta. So they would come to Augusta and open to what's the James Brown Arena hold? Maybe 8 to 10,000, and I'm just guessing. Uh,
yeah.
so that's why a lot of big bands come here. I mean, they don't come here now because there's just no money in
Right.
it. There's no revenue.
Right.
Uh, well, there's you can't sell music, you can't sell media,
Right.
well, and especially now you can't sell anything that's not tangible
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's too easy to steal off the internet. Because and it'd make me mad too if I was making money off of it, but I'll be the first one to tell you that I haven't bought a song in a long time.
You know,
So,
you know,
oh, go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say I try to support. I purchase my music from like Amazon.
Okay, so I do have Amazon Prime, and you get movies and music. So in a way, I
Yeah,
do,
you do.
but
Yes.
um, but I still steal it too. And I know that's terrible for a musician to say that. Oh yeah, we don't. It's just a joke. Face, Facebook, just get a sense of humor. Um, yeah, and that's the downfall of entertainment these days is that you don't have to even buy music or any kind of media.
Nope.
You can't make money in porn. You can't make money in any kind of media like that. Um, even big production movies don't make a lot of money because of bootlegs. Um, it's terrible. They got to figure out a way to now. There are programs that cut it off, like here, like I was asking you about, um, if you could play copyrighted music. Uh, so you would have to pay BMI and ASCAP before you could do that. And then I don't even know if Facebook would let you.
Facebook normally would cut the sound.
Yeah, that's terrible. Um, they should pay the royalties. Look at all the ad revenue they get. I mean,
Yeah.
there's actually I don't see any ads on the page. That's different.
Nope.
Uh, so so obviously you're paying them for this. Okay, so that's the reason. If not, there would be so many ads plastered all over this that you wouldn't even notice us.
Yeah, I pay to
So
keep them away.
that's it. And you know what? And that's I have no problem with that whatsoever. Uh, so then, okay, so let's go. Where are we at? Jesus Christ!
You know what? This train is derailed. It is derailed a long time ago. Might as well just keep on going.
It
Go with
did.
it.
So wow. So another great album
Yeah.
is Electric by the Cult.
Oh.
Um, another huge influence on me. Billy Duffy, the guitar player, just right up my alley.
Right.
So Well, I would say that people like Steve Vai and Yngwie and Edward Van Halen uh, were huge influences on me, but not the way I played, but just to keep me playing or to keep me listening to music.
Right.
Now, I by no means can't play their stuff. I guess I could if I spent enough time doing it. But once it turns into work, it's no fun anymore.
Right.
So, and that's what it's all about. It's about fun, uh, but it's also about the music. It's about the music now for me more so than it has been in the past. I was. It's because I quit drinking.
Right.
I've been sober for almost 7 years.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I know when you can't remember how long it's been, you have it beat. Um, wow, I
Yeah.
drank a lot, and I drank a Ferrari and a really nice house in Malibu,
Right.
and the whole Beatles catalog. So who owns the Beatles catalog now that Michael Jackson died?
I don't know.
I don't either. Is his family like just fighting over that thing or what?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is still with the family to a certain degree. I'm not sure on that. Not sure. I better not say I don't know. I better just say I don't
I,
know.
I would think that was probably one of his biggest assets.
Oh yeah.
Uh, oh yeah, except for his catalog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, God, could you imagine how much money his catalog and the Beatles catalog and every other song he owns is worth? There's
Uh,
there's not enough zeros on the planet
nope.
for that.
A lot of money in publishing.
The Cult, Electric,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that's where the money is.
It's in publishing.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about the Cult, Electric song. Uh, the songs from front to back on the album were good.
Right.
The production was really good. Um, that was Rick Rubin. I knew it was an interesting person that produced that record. Rick
Be-
Rubin also was part of Def Jam,
Beastie Boys. Yes.
Beastie Boys, Run DMC.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, wow. Wow, I want to say like NWA
I'm
or
not sure.
some of those guys, maybe.
I'm not sure about that.
Somebody, maybe not them specifically, but some of that really hardcore gangster rap.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, an old fat white guy is behind it all. It's
So,
it's
so it always is. It's what it is.
yeah. Well, Blondie had the first hit that
Right.
was a rap song,
Rapture. Yes.
Rapture.
I remember that extremely well.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's so funny that that blows my mind. And she just picked it up off the streets, and it was, nobody thought they could sell that at
Fab
that time.
Fab Five Freddy. I remember.
Fab Five, Freddie, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Uh-huh.
gosh, wow,
Yeah.
I'm old. Yeah, somebody else is old over here too. I don't know. That's crazy.
You know what? Without giving away numbers, you and I are the same age. You only have me by
Oh,
a few
really?
months. Yes, we're the same age.
Oh, I thought you were way younger than me.
Oh no, no hell no, no.
Oh,
Uh-uh.
when did you turn 45? A few months before me.
Few months before you, yes.
Yeah, I we're doing good because considering how fucked up I am, I'm a good-looking motherfucker. Remember, I told you the other night that when you're in a band, you have to be the biggest rock star in that band.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm not even in a band, and I have to be the biggest rock star.
Very true. Very true.
Oh my gosh. So, and we haven't even touched on, well, we kind of touched on Ozzy, but not Black Sabbath. What, I mean, how do you pick a Black Sabbath album and say, oh, this is the best Black Sabbath album, or this Black Sabbath album would make the top 10 because of what? Uh, and then there's uh, Black Sabbath with Dio,
See,
which is,
I don't know too much about the Dio years. I haven't
okay,
experimented.
wow. I would say Heaven and Hell is one of the best albums ever written. Uh, Mob Rules was after it, maybe
Right.
not as good. They were kind of trying to follow trends, maybe, I believe. And that's just my opinion.
Right.
But Heaven and Hell is definitely one of the best albums ever. And Dio was definitely one of the best vocalists ever. How that voice came out of that little guy, I'll never know.
I know.
And everything he did was amazing. He was such a great lyricist. Uh, Speechless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those. So, and Eve. So I even go like Rainbow and Deep Purple and things like that.
Richie Blackmore.
Um, Blackmore was an incredible player. So he's doing a thing now. It's called Blackmore's Night.
Right.
Have you heard that?
I've heard of it.
Okay, so it's not Deep Purple. Let me tell you.
Sounds medieval type music.
It's very. So when you say it like that, it sounds like it's like this crazy heavy metal stuff.
Right.
Well, no, it's like he's playing like a lute or some kind of stringed instrument that I don't even know what it is.
Yep.
And he's wearing a minstrel's outfit,
Yep.
and he looks like a fucking pilgrim.
Yep.
Sorry, but it is what it is. Wow. So what do you think so far?
I'm shocked.
You're shocked.
Yes.
I knew you would be. Now, I also did like bands like Beastie Boys.
Okay.
Like when their first album came out, that blew me away. That
License to Ill. Yeah.
that was genius. Other bands like now, so in the '90s, so none of this stuff is '90s. Well,
Right.
the cult was pushing the '90s. '90s bands like all the Dead Guy bands, Chris Cornell, all those guys were amazing singers. Wasn't my cup of tea really then, but now that I've gone back and listened to it and played with Anthony Frost, who is he's an amazing vocalist, and so me and Jeff Davison and Greg Ammett. So what we were going to do was like more of a Iron Maiden, Ozzy Osbourne kind of thing.
Right.
And then when Anthony came aboard, he was like, "Well, this is what I do," and that's what we did, and it came out tight. It was tight, and it was everyone's sober,
Right.
and it was very different for me to play with sober players and play a different style of music than I was used to. But of course, I still put my own spin on it.
Right.
Okay, so my top 10, I told you it was there's no way I could do 10. Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime.
Mm-hmm.
What can you say about it? I mean, there's I really hate that they broke up in a way, but and everybody's like, well, fuck Todd Latour and all this stuff. But you know what? All that vocal magic on those albums wasn't just Tate. That whole band can sing their asses off. So Tate got his new band, which was Rudy Sarzo, and I believe it was Robert Sarzo also in that band.
Right.
On guitar. Anyway, and I've seen Queensryche like 5 or 6 times probably.
I've only seen them once, and it was with I call him the new guy, but yeah.
The new guy.
Yeah.
Todd Latour. Yeah, he's amazing.
He is. Oh, he is.
So and so they sound more like Queensryche than what. So Tate is calling his band Operation Mindcrime, I believe.
He played here last year in this area.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm. I didn't go, but
that's
yeah.
right. He did tour last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I've seen videos from the tour, and I was not impressed. I realized that vocals make or break a band.
Right.
So, and this is a clear-cut case of it because Jeff Tate didn't make Queensryche.
True.
And there's so many albums of theirs that they're amazing albums.
They are.
And that's something that I picked up their first album. It must have came out in that mid '80s. It was an EP.
Okay.
Queen of the Reich. I'm not sure if that was the name of it, but it had 4 songs on it. And it was 4 very good songs. The production lacked a bit, but the songs were really good. So they, and then everything else after that was amazing. Even so, I've seen him do. It's funny that I've seen him do Mindcrime three
Wow.
times. I've seen him do Mindcrime three times. And and one of those times they did Mindcrime 1 and 2.
Oh, wow.
So uh, I was blessed for that. And all three of those things were at the Tabernacle in Atlanta. So it was like, and you know how small that place is.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Not a bad seat in the house. And the production is always amazing.
Right.
Um, so it sounded amazing. Um, wow, so much stuff. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to something that nobody's ever heard of. There's a band out of Canada.
Okay.
They're not signed. They're not old enough to drink. Uh, but they're very progressive. The name of the band is Motion Device. Uh, they're 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 siblings. It's three siblings and a cousin.
Okay.
And so I found this band on YouTube, and they started making videos probably 10 or 12 years ago. And the singer was probably 10 years old. Excuse me. And she was doing stuff like Dio and Sabbath and uh, just Maiden and things like that.
Right.
Now, she wasn't very good. The band was good. So I had forgotten about them for a few years. And then I stumbled across them again on YouTube, and they had put out an album. And it's called, where are my notes? Let me make us say this right.
Uh,
Eternalize. It's called Eternalize. I believe that, uh, oh shit, if I touch my computer, it's going to blow up. That duck's going to, man, that duck's going to come and get us. And nobody knows what the fuck we're talking
you're gonna have to
about that
sit.
duck.
You know what? You're
I'll
gonna
send
have
the,
to
I'll,
send. You're gonna have to
I'll
send me a
send the link.
copy. Yeah.
I'll send you the link. So
Okay.
they have they have a ton of videos from when they're. I mean, the oldest person might be 17 years old in the band,
Right.
up until now the youngest person in the band is probably 18 or 19 years old, the singer. So, and they went from doing, and you could tell that these kids, uh, somebody spent a lot of money on making these kids good at music.
Okay.
Um, Vocal coaches, guitar teachers, songwriters,
Right.
uh, and I apologize if I'm wrong, but there's no way I am, because I went and saw this band in Atlanta in a club called Smith's Old Bar.
I know that place very well.
Okay, so they were upstairs,
Okay.
the staircase from hell. You know what I'm talking
I
about.
do. Yes, I do.
Only if you haven't been there, you do you want to carry a SPT cabinet up 50 stairs? I don't know if there's 50 stairs. I'm going to say there's 20 stairs. They're, I think they're made out of wrought iron, some kind of metal,
Right.
not like sturdy metal, and they're very steep. Um, so anyway, so I go to Atlanta and I see this band because I'm interested.
Right.
I'm like, what the hell? can they do this for real? And yeah, they were better live than they are than their records. Their records. They don't even know what the hell a record is. Than their recordings. Uh, Record being a record of what they did for you guys that don't know what frisbees are. But I'm sure that a lot of people listening have had a frisbee in one hand and a beer in the other.
Oh, you know it.
Because that's how it works. Because you had to have a beer in a hand, because if you put your beer down, you're just going to have to run after it. Because the other drunk guy, he can't throw the damn frisbee or shit.
No.
That was me. That was me. I should have just threw the beer. And or we played hacky sack. And do you even know what that is?
I've heard of it. I think it's some little beanie baggy thingy.
It's like a little bean bag that you just kick around like a soccer ball.
I've seen
Whoever
it.
came up with that was brilliant. Because people would smoke pot and kick around this little bean bag, and it's probably about the size of a golf ball.
Yep.
So that's something that we did on the road a lot. Because we did. So in the 80s, man, sometimes we had a lot of downtime.
Right.
Because so back then you used to play 3 and 4 nights a week at one club, and you could feasibly go and play another 3 nights at another club. You could play 6 nights a week back then.
Mm-hmm.
Even in Augusta had an amazing music scene. There's another band I wanted to mention. They're called Stranger. And they were just they're a band out of Florida. They were not signed. I believe that they had a distribution deal through Sony.
Okay.
Or they may have been signed to a certain extent, more so with a distribution type deal.
Right.
But they were a great band. It was the epitome of the 80s parties band. It was like drink and they had a huge sound system. It was so funny. It's like like sound systems are like tiny now and they sound amazing. Back then, the theory was the bigger the box, the bigger the sound.
Right.
But I mean, they did sound good. Stranger.
I've heard that name before. They've played Augusta a handful of times, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, they played a place called Kathmandu quite a bit. They were probably the biggest draw there.
I may have met one of the members at least once or twice, and
So
yes.
there's so the singer, I cannot remember his name, is still doing this kind of stuff. Their stuff down in Florida.
Right.
And unfortunately, this is another band. The guitar player took his own life.
Oh. Mm.
I don't know what it is about creative people. And I hate to be a downer, but it's reality. People have to realize the symptoms of this stuff and not not just blow it off and realize that you can get help.
Very true.
There is there's a thing called Project Semicolon.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the camera?
There it is.
So, just like in literature, a semicolon means I'm not done yet. And I'm not done yet. Suicide's been a huge part of my life. Um, I've lost 2 family members and 3 friends. Um, this, I was turned on to this
Right.
by a friend of mine, Melissa,
I know
and
Melissa.
yep. So you know Melissa.
I do.
She turned me on to this, and it's sad. There was a guy, and you know Michael Badamy.
I know him extremely well. Yes.
So did you know Philip Lee?
No, I did not. I did not know
Okay.
him. No.
So I didn't know him either, but he took his life, and everybody was the same way. They were blown away that he did that, and so I got this right after his death for a lot of people. And Daniel was on the same track, and it's sad that I knew that was going to happen.
You know, going back to Philip, I've seen a lot of his videos online. He was a very talented guy.
He was a very
Very.
talented guy.
But I don't know how I missed him in the radar. Was he around when I was in town, or was he somewhere else, or was he under the radar? Do you know at the time?
I didn't know of him until within the last 10 years. I just happened to uh, I just happened upon him and Badamy were playing somewhere. It could have been in Aiken, or it could have been
Okay.
downtown Augusta, some street festival, or I don't know. Michael would know the answer, and I'll ask
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Or I mean, they could have been doing multiple things. They could have done multiple things like that.
Well, you know what? Speaking of Michael Badamy, he's coming up. I'm interviewing him next week.
Uh, Amazing player,
Oh, yes.
amazing player.
Yes, he is.
Funny guy too.
He is.
Me
Known
and
him a
him,
long time. Yeah.
me and him go have said some funny shit to each other on Facebook. Because he is like the biggest guitar purist, and I'm the guy that will hack up a guitar and put a green humbucker in it in a heartbeat. And so that's like been a joke that he would go, oh, check out my new 65 Strat, or not my new 65. I just got this 65 Strat. And I'm like, fuck yeah, it needs a Floyd Rose and a green DiMarzio in it. But he, he's a smart guy, and
He is.
I value his opinion a lot.
Oh,
And he's an incredible player.
he really is.
I can't believe. Well, he does do a lot in Augusta. I can't believe
does.
that he doesn't do more. It's like he's one of those guys that I feel that like he's too good to be in Augusta.
He's one of the exceptional players. I mean, he's been at it for quite a while, and the
Oh, yeah.
longer he plays, it's just the more seasoned he gets, and
He does.
he really is. I just drop my jaw every time I see a video of him
So,
because he plays with Ed Turner in number 9.
Well, yeah, exactly. But he doesn't really get to play like he plays with Ed. I feel that way anyway.
Okay,
Because he'll do like live videos on Facebook
right.
of just him sitting on some classic amp with a classic guitar, just by himself. And you know what? And that is, if you can just sit there with the guitar and be entertaining by yourself, that says so much. And Philip Lee was like that as well. it's hard to just stand there with an acoustic guitar and be entertaining. I can't do it. There's no way. Um, yes, I. So when is he coming up?
Well, we're doing a 2-part interview with him.
Yeah.
Monday and Wednesday of next week.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I can't wait for the Paul.
Arrowwood. Oh my
So,
goodness.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know
Um,
that's gonna be a good one.
and the 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 stories that we don't remember.
He'll remember it.
No, he won't. I don't know. He might.
He'll remember it, knowing him.
Uh, we had a lot of good times together. We
That's yeah. That's coming
we
up the first week in June.
yeah. I and Toppers tomorrow.
Topper is tomorrow. Tommy Topper South.
Yeah.
Still in pit balls.
Yeah. Still in pitballs.
Still in pit balls. I need my
Yeah.
hat. I need the hat. To
Yeah.
go up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rabbit hole. Yeah.
So I was talking to Greg, our drummer, earlier. I said, you need. I said, oh, I'm going on Dee's show here in a few minutes,
Right.
and he goes, yeah, everybody on Pitballs does that. I said, yeah, well, you need to get in there. He goes, I've never played with Pitballs, but he's got some interesting stories to tell. There's a lot of talent around here.
Whew.
This is for a podunk town like Augusta, and Augusta hates me now. This town has a lot of talent.
It always has.
I mean, super good talent.
It always has.
I mean-
Yeah.
Steve Mitchell. Well, Steve Morse was kind of
Morse.
from here. Andy West is a doctor here.
Really?
No, Andy West is from here. It's Alan Sloan that is a
Okay.
doctor here at what's AU now, which used to be MCG. So he was the fiddle player for Dixie Drex,
Oh.
which was the first band I saw ever.
I have one of the original members of Dixie Grit. They'll be on next month too.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And you're not going to say which one.
I am not. No. No. I don't mess around. I'm telling
Is it
you.
on this side of the world or your side of the world?
It's on your side of the world.
Okay, that narrows it down
Okay.
a little bit.
A little bit.
Not much.
But you know me, I might pull somebody from this side of the world. You never know.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people out there.
It's a lot. 40 million of us, yeah.
40 million. Wow.
40 million. I've met some interesting musicians out here. I've met Wayne Kramer from NC5. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Very cool dude.
Yeah. I'm sure you can find a lot of people, interesting people to interview out there.
Oh, yeah.
But the whole pit boss rabbit hole is such an interesting story in itself.
I feel like just sewing a Alice in Wonderland costume and just, hey, see
And
where it
making
goes.
us wear it. Everybody's got to wear it to be on the show.
Oh, gosh. You know what you all need to do, you pit boss members?
What's that?
Get a group picture at some point.
That would be interesting. We did a reunion about 10 years ago, maybe
didn't
longer
know.
than that. It was at the Rub It Inn,
Okay.
and of course, the place was packed.
Oh, of course.
It was a madhouse.
That would be so good, to get all of you together.
That would be. So it's funny though. There's been so many people in the band that like each person played like 3 or 4 songs, and it filled
Yep.
up the night. So, but Clint's always been like, it's like he would like do the changing of the guard every 4 or 5 years
Right.
or so. Um, Now, I think Tommy and Clint have been in it the longest, definitely. And I think Paul Arrowwood would have been in it second
Okay.
with them.
Right.
And then it's been the revolving door of guitar players. And I had a blast. I had so much fun. Um, how I survived that, I'll never know.
How we all survived that, because
Yeah, because it wasn't just the 4 people in the band.
no.
It was the 40 to 400 people in the audience too. Wow. So yeah. So there were some places we played that just and people lost their fucking minds.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
The audience would always get into it, and it didn't matter whether everybody was like pumping fists or doing the chicken dance or whatever they were doing. It was just an expression or whatever, It was,
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yes,
It
it
was,
was.
yeah. It was just cool. I miss it.
Oh yeah, I miss it too. I miss a lot of things. But
Yeah.
I'm getting better, I'm getting stronger,
Well, good.
and I have an army behind me.
You definitely
So
do.
I, I am so fortunate, uh, and I'm not going to give up.
You better not.
No, I'm not. Well, see, that's the thing is most people do give up.
Can't give me. Mm-mm.
That's why. So that's the thing about people that go through traumatic injuries like mine.
Right.
They just give up. Like I asked this nurse that came over. Uh, so I have all my stuff arranged in a certain way,
Right.
and I said, so how do most people do this? They go, they don't. They ask their nurse to hand them this or do this for them.
Right.
And I'm like, fuck that. I'm not doing that.
Is that Teresa in the background?
No, that is Taylor. Say hi, Taylor.
Teresa? Oh, Taylor. Taylor. That's right.
Look how cute that
She
is.
is. She's cute as a bud. She is.
No, that's my granddaughter now.
There you go.
Yeah, she does. She's amazing.
Yeah, I see her in the background now. Yeah, she
Yeah.
is.
She takes care of me,
Oh, that's good. That's good.
and
You know
I
what?
need that
You know what? We've been at it. Uh-oh.
again for an hour and 40 minutes.
We have broken a record here. So,
Have we? Okay, so I don't know what you doing Friday. Ah,
you know what? I have an interview on Friday.
so I'll tell you what. So pick a subject and let's do something weird.
Okay.
Or let's do like me and someone else, and we'll all three sit and talk all over each other.
I'll have to plan that in the future. Yes.
Yeah, but
You know what? Speaking of that, before you elaborate, I've got my schedule. My interview schedule is booked all the way through July.
wow, Good deal.
all the way through July.
That's amazing.
I had no idea that it was going to turn out like this. I thought it was just going to
And
be, friends talking.
yeah, everybody wants to be on your show, D.
Everybody wants to be on. And
Yeah.
I love it. It's great.
And I appreciate that you've had me on here this quick.
Oh, I don't mess around.
Oh, I know. It's because I got some stupid ass stories to tell.
But you're going to have to, next time you come back on, you're going to have to top my Capri Cinema story. Can you do that?
Yep, just look on the bottom of your shoes. See? I already won, didn't I?
Damn it.
Okay, so yeah, I can do that. Hell, I can do an hour of that. I know that's scary, and I have. I should be ashamed of myself.
You know what? We're at that age now where there's no shame anymore. I know for me, I can say that. When I was younger, it was like, I don't want anybody to know this. Oh, screw that. I'm past that prime.
Oh, I am too. I've always I've never had any shame, and especially now after all I've been through,
Right.
being in a hospital for so long, uh, you get quite humbled
Oh,
when you're in a hospital.
very true.
So now it's like, I don't care. This is my. Okay, I'll top your damn story.
Yeah, you top my damn story. You go before you do. We got a comment on here from Flo. You remember Flo? Flo
Yeah.
McClucker? She said,
Yeah.
"You are such a nut." Is what she said.
Why, yes, I am. Oh, you ain't even heard. Yeah, I haven't even started yet. So,
Oh, I'm sorry. There's your story. I'm gonna shut up now. Go ahead.
Hi, Flo. That it's funny that Flo's ex-husband,
Right.
me and him started playing guitar together like in middle school, which was called junior high school back then.
Right.
Mike McCorkle. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So me and Flo have one of the 6 degrees there, and she's very, very talented herself,
She is.
and she should be on the show too.
Oh, it's coming. She weaves into that pitbull story as well.
Oh yeah,
She does.
yeah, I know.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, who doesn't? I mean, you can book every day for the rest of the year, and it's kind of fit in there. Okay, so I gotta go, but so here's my story. So, okay, so for those that don't know, I am a paraplegic, and I am getting things back. So today, when you're paralyzed from the waist down, there's muscles that do certain things, like with your genitalia, like hold your balls in place and keep your dick out.
Johnson, you mean?
No, I'm at cock. So today, I get out of the shower and I notice that my balls aren't like a big water bed.
Okay.
They have that kind of firmness back to them. and that my dick isn't like an inch long. And
Okay.
actually, so these muscles that control this actually. So when you lose control of those muscles, you lose those muscles. It just sucks your dick right into your body,
Right.
like you got a puss,
Okay.
and your balls just go flop, and it's just a big bat wing.
Yeah,
So,
you just topped my story yesterday. Go ahead, go for it.
so today I'm like, get out of the shower, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, my balls are not blabbing, and my dick's like run out. It's not like an inch long, and so I'm like, Taylor, look at this. And of course, Taylor's like 20 years old, and so I'm like, of course, I gotta play with it. I wasn't playing. Okay, so let's just put it this way: I was not playing. Uh, but she was trying to get me dressed, and so I kept going and going, and she's like, "Stop! Do you want to get dressed or not?" And I had a doctor's appointment, and so that's a huge milestone in my recovery that I get that back. Now I can get erections. Uh, do you even want to hear this? Okay. I already won, so there's not even any reason to go any further. So,
It's Christmas every day.
it is Christmas every day. Trust me, it was Christmas today for me.
Well, congratulations. I'm glad that you were able to get
Well,
it done.
well, let's just hope that. Well, now I haven't got it done yet, so that's another muscle.
Okay.
So it's complicated, and if you want to go into that, we're gonna have to wait till another day
Yeah.
uh, because Taylor has to get Grandpa to bed because she can't stay. She can't work 24/7.
Lynn,
But I can talk. I can talk 24/7.
who you telling? No, who you telling?
Yeah. You said talk show, didn't you? You didn't say strip show.
You are too much. You're too much.
I know.
You
I'm
are.
I'm fucked up.
You're too much. And I love it.
Yeah. I appreciate you having me on. Uh, let me mention a couple of things before I go.
Go right ahead.
Please give to TRTwDR.org. These people make people like me get well. They pay for things that insurance doesn't. Medicaid, I have Medicaid. I'm on disability. I make $500 a month and $200 in food stamps, and my bills are $1,000 a month. But thanks to treatmentreliefhelp.org, Bruce Sis, and Tanya,
Yes.
Al, all these people involved in this organization have made sure that I have food, my electricity's on, my mortgage is paid. An amazing organization. TreatmentReliefHelp.org.
It is.
It is. Okay, so I gotta go.
Lynn,
But
it's been real.
it's been real. It's been
We'll
real
talk.
interesting.
We'll see you next time, Lynn. This is Lynn Webster,
Yes.
everybody.
Thank you, guys.
This is the radio takeover with D Rivers live. And we'll see you tomorrow with Tommy Topper South. That's going to be another good show. Take care.
Spread the shocker.